deep waters remain one of Earth's most dangerous frontiers, hiding undiscovered terrors beneath the surface. Expect thrilling encounters with massive sharks, eerie underwater figures, and spine-chilling moments that defy explanation. Here are 20 scary encounters in the ocean. Number 20. Shark Surprise. Ocean Ramsey, a passionate marine environmentalist, developed a remarkable bond with sharks, the ocean's top predators. These magnificent creatures are more than simply topics of study to her. They are lifelong companions. In a stunning viral video, Queen Nikki, an imposing 16-foot tiger shark, rushed out of the water, playfully biting at Ramsey's fins. "Hi, Nikki," said the shark scientist as she welcomed her old buddy. "I like that tiger shark." Ramsey actually has a long-standing crush on Nikki. "I grew up with that tiger shark. I think we were teenagers at the same time," she recalls affectionately. "As a result, I've known her for more than 20 years. Ramsey provided her side on the event that occurred in Hawaii's seas, emphasizing that her own actions provoked Nikki's unusual reaction. Ramsey admitted that she rushed into the water and that Nikki totally reacted to that. She noted Nikki's approach and the gathering of schooling fish below, judging the shark's intent. Since she had a good grasp of shark behavior and a profound respect for their presence, she quickly decided to give the gorgeous creature some room, knowing how important it was to honor her natural instincts. Such encounters are commonplace for Ocean Ramsey, who is deeply committed to shark study and protection. Number 19. Ship almost crushes people. Passengers on the Red Funnel Ferry saw a horrific nautical close call in a heart-pounding scene that transpired on the seas of Southampton. The situation was nothing short of a maritime drama, with a lone swimmer up against a massive cargo ship carrying a whopping 200,000 tons. The risky situation began with 3 guys on 2 little boats sailing into the big ocean, not knowing that their detour had taken them straight into the perilous path of the major shipping channel. It was then when the massive 400-meter-long container ship, the Al Zabara, appeared ominously on the horizon, barreling directly at their defenseless vessels. The 3 guys in the boats went into action in a desperate rush to avoid the impending calamity. However, fate handed them a harsh blow when one of the dinghy's engines failed, forcing one of the guys to resort to the most desperate of tactics, swimming for his life. Harvey Brett Hill, a keen observer, caught the entire heart-stopping event on camera. As the tension on the waves reached fever pitch, the film is an unforgettable witness to the unbreakable character and perseverance displayed by humans when faced with the depths of grave danger. Number 18. Stingray bites woman. Stingrays are normally renowned for their tranquil nature, yet when pushed, their calm demeanor may quickly morph into a strong defense mechanism. These mysterious creatures hide a powerful weapon beneath their sleek, flattened bodies, a barbed tail that can inflict agonizing harm on anybody who disturbs them. It is worth mentioning that the world was sadly reminded of the hazards of stingrays when the great Steve Irwin passed away due to a direct and unfortunate encounter with one. A couple embarked on an aquatic excursion in the gorgeous waters of the Cayman Islands in a less horrific yet cautionary tale. They found themselves surrounded by curious stingrays as they submerged themselves in the tranquility of the sea. The pair planned to interact with these beautiful creatures, a practice known as stingray feeding. It was an enthralling experience that allowed them to get up close and personal with these enthralling dwellers of the deep. The tranquility of the situation, however, took an unexpected turn when the lady decided to push the bounds of engagement. She stretched out to touch one of the stingrays, possibly with awe and perhaps with curiosity. The tranquil underwater environment was broken in a fraction of a second when the stingray, reacting to what it viewed as a danger, bit the woman's arm. Surprisingly, the woman did not suffer the instant anguish that one would expect from such an encounter. Number 17. Shark stuck in cage. Craig Capehart from Indiana found himself on the verge of a life-altering calamity on a shark diving adventure in Guadalupe Island, Mexico. In a heart-stopping occurrence in August, the terrifying close call occurred in the shark-gazing cage. Mr. Capehart's terrifying film showed the heart-stopping moment when a great white shark, enticed by bait, surged with violence, striking the cage's side and somehow contorting its gigantic bulk inside. The ferocious beast thrashed around and was trapped in the tiny confines for a gut-wrenching 20 seconds. He said, "I was diving with great white sharks in the Pacific Ocean in Mexico when one got into the cage, struggled, and then escaped. Fortunately, the rapid thinking of Solmar, the diving company in charge of the excursion, saved the shark from an inconceivable tragedy. They had prudently unlatched the top hatch of the cage, allowing the distressed shark to make a frantic escape and averting disaster." Capehart said, "Neither the people in the cage were hurt. It was the scariest thing that had ever occurred to me." Number 16. Jet skier almost gets crushed by a ship. A jet skier teetered on the brink of disaster as he approached a massive ship in a heart-stopping encounter that defied the laws of physics. This compelling and popular film, saved for posterity, serves as a sobering reminder of the open ocean's relentless might. The audience is pulled into a nerve-wracking moment when the jet skier, propelled by a bold spirit, tests the bounds of safety. He hurtles towards the hulking behemoth of a ship with reckless excitement, his vehicle acting as an extension of his arrogance. The first few seconds of this risky experiment pass without mishap, lulling viewers into a false feeling of security. The video records a gut-wrenching fight for survival as the jet ski travels perilously near to the ship's massive hull. The vessel's unrelenting draw threatens to capture the jet ski, dragging it beneath the surface in a perilous dance. The jet skier's fortitude and survival instincts shine through against all difficulties. He manages a Herculean attempt to free himself from the grasp of the merciless water. As the gigantic ship continues its relentless progress, he regains control and reclaims his position on the jet ski with a superhuman act of strength and agility, just missing the abyss that it loomed minutes before. Number 15. Paddleboard and Orca. A relaxing paddleboarding expedition became thrilling for Luke O'Reilly on New Zealand's gorgeous Coromandel Peninsula. Locals were pleased to see a pod of orcas smoothly maneuvering the neighboring seas in chase of elusive stingrays. As he basked on the beach one day, the 27-year-old responded to the mesmerizing spectacle with an insatiable sense of adventure and his trusty paddleboard and GoPro camera. He eagerly entered the waves where fate had in store an astonishing meeting. In a stunning turn of events, Luke found himself encircled by an orca, their eager gaze fixed on him. The orca even nudged his paddleboard, sending exciting goosebumps down his spine. Luke O'Reilly described the terrifying moment when one of the orcas approached him even closer as he narrated the captivating encounter. "It hung around looking at me and checking me out, watching," he explained, "and then it slowly came up and grabbed the back of my board." Most people would tremble at such a close brush with these fearsome monsters, but Luke's fortitude shined through as he confronted the incredible experience with great calm. "I never expected it to grab the back of the board and look at me," he acknowledged. "My knees were obviously trembling. Luke somehow got it out alive. That was quite scary the first time," he added, "but I knew I'd be fine." Number 14. Shark attacks diver. A daring scuba diver set out on a noble mission in the beautiful seas of the Cayman Islands. He was hunting for a lionfish. Spearfishing for a lionfish is a dangerous sport that requires not just talent but also extreme caution. Undaunted, our daring diver went to a depth of 70 feet, navigating the rugged terrain to track down and capture his elusive target. A violent, searing agony shot through his body as he gently caught a lionfish within his gathering net, and a primitive grunt of discomfort escaped his lips. He quickly turned to face an approaching presence, a shark. This predator, generally drawn to the scent of lionfish, was abnormally drawn to a more immediate and unexpected source of nourishment, the diver himself. The diver relied on a strong combination of technique, unshakable nerve, and extraordinary coolness in the heart-pounding seconds that followed. He understood that attempting to outswim the shark with only his fishing spear as a defense would be fruitless. Instead, he addressed the unrelenting predator with courage, battling it off with tenacity. He kept the shark in sight with sheer grit and unrelenting attention, a critical approach for deterring subsequent attacks. The shark eventually yielded after an adrenaline-charged confrontation. The diver's triumphant perseverance guaranteed his survival, and the shark went away, possibly realizing that this meal was not worth the effort. Number 13. Moray eel. The moray eel has a mysterious and terrifying allure. Anyone considering chasing these creatures would be badly incorrect, as their meat carries a poison that is dangerous to humans. Furthermore, given to their height and strength, they may easily overcome a human opponent. The undersea world emerged in all its grandeur and malice in an illuminating encounter filmed by a brave cinematographer. As the videographer plunged himself into the water, his lens captured the hypnotic dance of two moray eels. With sinuous bodies and gnashing teeth, these serpentine animals seem to embrace the vast mystery of the ocean depths. However, because of the fickle and unexpected nature of undersea life, the serene scene morphed into a heart-pounding display without warning. One of the moray eels lunged forth, ready to catch the cameraman off guard. The man, who was no new to the dangers of such underwater encounters, responded quickly and forcefully as he became aware of the impending danger. Instinct drove his every step in the face of peril. The man took a tactical retreat, understanding that the moray eel's unrelenting pursuit demanded a strategic retreat. The eels pursued him with fascinating and dreamlike fluidity, alert sentinels of their kingdom, ensuring that he did not re-enter their dominion. Number 12. Girl freaks out after seeing a manatee. The manatee has a history that is linked with stories of mermaids and their captivating melodies, which formerly led mariners to believe in the existence of beautiful fishwomen calling from rocky shores. This pleasant image, however, clashed sharply with the reaction of Caroline Winch, a Floridian who went on an ill-fated swim with these friendly herbivores called cows of the sea. Caroline's meeting with these gentle giants had an unexpected turn. Her gut reaction would have led one to believe she was in the presence of a dangerous predator rather than a peaceful manatee. The manatee had changed into a distant relative of sharks in her eyes, which she found too unpleasant to ignore. Panic coursed through her veins, and in the grip of terror, she saw a bleak future in which she told her mother farewell, her life brutally snuffed out by an apparently innocuous seaweed-chomping fat mermaid cow. Caroline's overreaction, comparing the manatee to a saltwater crocodile, revealed her fundamental misunderstanding of these gentle giants. The manatee's calm demeanor had become the stuff of nightmares in her imagination. Number 11. Crocodile attacks drone. Quentin Roper set off on a journey that would be both exhilarating and terrifying off the coast of Australia. This narrative begins in February when the globe had not yet been engulfed by the difficulties of lockdown. When the sky was bright and welcoming, the day was calm and a peaceful aura hovered in the air when Roper, a local and owner of a new drone, decided to take his latest gizmo for a leisurely flight. He had no idea that his lovely day would soon be filled with heart-pounding drama. As he flew his drone above the beautiful waters, he noticed an unexpected visitor, a massive saltwater crocodile sunbathing peacefully nearby. The desire to get a better look at this awe-inspiring reptilian monster became tempting. Roper moved his drone closer, anxious to examine the crocodile in all its glory. To his surprise, the gigantic beast sprang from the water, jaws gaping in a quick and terrifying effort to capture the hovering drone. Though the crocodile's ferocious jump failed to bring down its robotic prey, the powerful contact damaged the drone. In exchange for the loss of his drone, Roper was able to capture fantastic footage of this heart-stopping encounter. Recognizing the rarity of this footage, Roper expertly steered his broken drone back to the safety of his boat. Despite the trauma, he successfully avoided losing it to the depths of the water. Number 10. Sea snake. Jonathan Bird, the courageous diver and famous nature photographer known for his hypnotic display Blue World, plunges into the ocean's depths, building a relationship with its enigmatic creatures. His courageous adventures have won him a reputation for bravery, a fearless spirit unafraid even in the company of the world's most deadly species, sea snakes. Sea snakes, related to their venomous terrestrial relatives, have considerably more lethal venom in their aquatic habitat. Jonathan Bird, on the other hand, has a great awareness of these serpentine denizens of the deep and approaches them with awe-inspiring interest and respect. He approaches these beasts with unrivaled bravery, an act that would give even the most daring individuals pause. Surprisingly, the sea snakes he encounters react calmly to his presence, unaffected by his careful treatment. This tranquility allows Jonathan to hold them, allowing a stunning look of their distinctive flat tails, well fitted for agile swimming across their aquatic realm. Number 9. Octopus wants diver's equipment. A diver became entangled in a thrilling yet unsettling encounter with a huge purple octopus in the seas around Primorsky Krai in Russia's Far East. Underneath the fun exterior, the octopus displayed incredible intellect, and it appeared to have a keen awareness of how to exert its supremacy over the unwanted guests. What began as a fun discussion quickly turned chilly, plunging the diver into a swirling sea of terror. The octopus used one of its tentacles to target the diver's breathing apparatus, a crucial lifeline that stood between him and the ocean's abyssal depths. It wrapped its tentacles around the diver's neck at the same time, restricting his motions and heightening his sensation of vulnerability. In a desperate attempt to survive, the diver collected all of his power and bravery. He struggled with the suctioning grasp of the octopus's tentacles with his spare arm, trying to break free from its stifling grip. Nonetheless, he faced an uphill battle, a one-armed struggle against the tough cephalopod's 8 muscular tentacles. Adding to the suspense, the diver had a camera in his left hand, a valued item with a vault of priceless memories and a monetary worth to match. It was a high-stakes tug-of-war between man and octopus. Number 8. Man stuck on ocean floor. Imagine having a strong phobia of deep water, only to find yourself trapped in a terrifying nightmare deep under the ocean's surface. The year was 2013, and a massive wave had mercilessly destroyed a tugboat's rope, causing the vessel, a ship struggling to tow an oil tanker across the stormy Atlantic Ocean off the Nigerian coast, to capsize. Darkness and solitude reigned in the merciless depths as the wreckage remained immobile on the ocean floor for 3 days. As the storm raged outside, Harrison found himself fortunately positioned inside a lavatory, safe from the first mayhem. The ship's fall came to a standstill as it connected with the merciless ocean floor, and Harrison was overcome with dread. Sustenance and fresh water were luxuries beyond his grasp in the chilly, damp confines of his prison, and survival seemed a faraway dream. His oxygen supply was dangerously low, hardly enough to last a day. As frigid water encroached on him, The room's walls encroached mercilessly, and carbon dioxide levels increased ominously. The problem was that the rescuers were completely unaware of Harrison's grave situation. His depleting oxygen levels pushed him to make a risky decision. Harrison faced the solitude with each hard breath, overcoming his fears and the inevitable grasp of asphyxia. He somehow retraced his ways, returned to the life-sustaining air pocket, and mustered the fortitude for another daring expedition toward redemption. He ultimately reached the waiting rescuers, emerging from the abyss into the arms of safety after a heart-pounding fight against time and terror. Number 7. Great White Shark Bites Adventurers. Tourists travel from far and wide to confront the ocean's most powerful predators, the awe-inspiring great white sharks. In the famous waters near Mossel Bay, South Africa, situated within the Southern Cape, a maritime area famed for its shark-infested reputation, tourists rush to this region, going on boat trips in the hopes of getting a close look at these gorgeous creatures, securing their position on the bucket lists of adventurous souls all over the world. However, for a group of German tourists, their trip took an unexpected turn. Their primary goal was not to see these top predators, but rather to observe the local seal population. They had no idea fate had something even more terrifying in store for them. The tranquility of the moment was unexpectedly disturbed as they bobbed serenely on their rubber boat. A massive great white shark, reaching a stunning 12 feet in length, charged at them with alarming speed. His huge body smashed into the rubber vessel, shredding it savagely. Panic must have coursed through the hearts of all on board as they witnessed this marine giant's enormous might and ferocity. In a terrifying moment, the big white blasted through the rubber, producing a huge hole that threatened to drown them in the salty abyss. Quickly recognizing the gravity of the situation, the South African tour operator issued a strong call to action. With a sense of urgency, they cranked up the boat's engine and sped away from the threatening creature. Number 6. Seal slaps a kayaker with an octopus. A bunch of daring buddies set off on a kayaking excursion to explore the wide expanse of the sea. During their journey, they came across an inquisitive seal, but it quickly became clear that this particular marine creature was not in the mood for company. The seal's behavior became strange and even hilarious in response to their presence. The seal emerged from the depths, displaying its displeasure in a fairly peculiar fashion. While the kayakers drifted in the middle of the open sea, the seal performed an unexpected and spectacular maneuver, delivering a powerful slap to one of the kayakers using a helpless octopus as its instrument. The octopus was pushed right into the kayaker's face after becoming entangled in the underwater ruckus. While seals are known to eat octopi, their usual strategy involves tossing the prey to weaken or kill it before ingestion. In this unusual case, it appeared that the seal's intention was not predation, but rather a decisive and unorthodox deterrent to the invaders. Now it's time for today's topic. A quiet morning surf session at Huntington Beach, California, turned into every surfer's worst nightmare. 11-year-old Ryan Walker, a local kid practicing with his new blue board, paddled out to catch a small wave when something massive moved beneath him. Witnesses later reported a dark, unmistakable silhouette forming within the swell, a dorsal fin slicing through the water, easily twice the size of Ryan's board. Ryan froze, unsure if it was a whale or a shark, but the distinct pointed shadow and slow, deliberate movement made lifeguards react instantly. Within seconds, sirens blared and rescuers pulled everyone from the water. The creature never surfaced, but drone footage taken moments earlier showed a faint outline nearly 20 feet long, swimming parallel to the buoy. Experts from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife reviewed the footage and suggested it could have been a great white, though the size appeared unusually large, perhaps rivaling extinct megalodon proportions. Some marine biologists remain skeptical, calling it a shadow illusion caused by wave distortion. Still, Ryan's encounter left locals uneasy, and authorities briefly closed the beach. What do you think? Was it just a trick of light, or could something truly massive be lurking off California's coast? Number 5. Tiger shark bites kayak. A daring fisherman called Scott Haraguchi engaged in a spectacular encounter with a ferocious tiger shark off the peaceful shores of Oahu in a heart-stopping occurrence. The stunning event was recorded on film, a monument to the incredible meeting that took place in front of our eyes. Scott Haraguchi set out on a calm fishing trip, unaware that his ideal day would take an exciting turn. The breathtaking drama unfolded as the gigantic tiger shark, its fearsome fangs on full show, propelled itself from the depths of the water toward his kayak. Haraguchi was astounded by the attack's tremendous speed, comparing it to the unrelenting rush of a motorless boat. Despite this, Haraguchi's instincts kicked in, and he mustered the bravery to reject the shark, averting a potentially disastrous conclusion. The footage catches his shouts and wild exclamations perfectly, conveying the intensity of the experience. He detailed the terrifying experience in the aftermath, describing his initial perplexity as he mistook the menacing form for a harmless turtle until the shark's violent collision destroyed that illusion. Haraguchi regained his calmness and continued his fishing adventure, a monument to his unwavering will in the face of such a close brush with one of nature's most ferocious predators. In a terrifying twist of fate, he subsequently came upon an injured seal, implying that the tiger shark mistook his kayak for prey. Number 4. Shark Statue. The notorious shark sculpture is located in the peaceful waters of Lake Geneva, Switzerland, and is an unnerving and mystifying underwater phenomenon that has caught the minds of people all over the world. This terrifying work of art has sparked interest not just because of its terrifying aspect, but also because of the interesting mystery surrounding its origin and purpose. This horrifying sculpture first appeared in 2007 when it was methodically built for the filming of the short film Chocolate. Divers who later stumbled upon the figure described it as something straight out of a nightmare, its lifelike jaws frozen in mid-snarl, its glassy eyes staring blankly through the dark water. Word of the discovery spread rapidly among the diving community, transforming the site into a strange kind of pilgrimage spot for thrill-seekers. Some claimed that when the light hit just right, the shark appeared to move, its shadow twisting across the lakebed like a living predator. Local authorities even received a few panicked calls from unsuspecting swimmers who thought they had spotted a real shark in the alpine waters. Over time, the sculpture became shrouded in legend, with rumors circulating that it had been placed there as a warning, a prank, or even an art installation symbolizing human fears. Theories grew wilder each year, with some insisting that the shark marked the spot of a hidden treasure or a forgotten wreck. Despite its eerie presence, the sculpture evolved into a peculiar emblem of Lake Geneva's mystery, an intersection of art, fear, and curiosity beneath the placid surface. The shark took on a fascinating presence in the picture, gently gliding across the water in riveting passages. However, when the film project came to a close, the filmmakers were confronted with a conundrum: what to do with the intimidating shark once its on-screen part was over. The crew chose a jaw-dropping idea, which would later haunt the waters of Lake Geneva. The sculpture with its scary countenance was hurriedly dumped into the lake's depths, designed to be a horrific surprise for unwary divers who went into the area. Number 3. Giant Squid Attacks Surfer. The clip reveals a magnificent moment when the huge squid's tendrils delicately encircle a paddleboard, evoking scenes from monster movies. The popular footage first appeared on social media, shared by James Taylor, a daring South African paddleboarder. A sensation of awe and dread merges smoothly as the huge squid stretches its strange limbs across the surface of Taylor's board. Taylor's composure in the face of this fearsome beast is remarkable. However, as the plot progresses, it becomes clear that looks may be misleading. Taylor's accompanying description exposes the actual story. When he first encountered the enormous squid, he noticed that it bore battle wounds, a magnificent but wounded warrior of the deep. Its body was scarred by deep wounds and exhibited the terrible marks of prior fights, with numerous tentacles obviously missing. Taylor made a key decision out of compassion and scientific curiosity. He prudently opted to return to the safety of the beach armed with a rope to help in the retrieval of the squid. His reasoning was both lofty and pragmatic. The injured giant squid was already on the verge of dying from its severe injuries. It would either expire or become a victim to other maritime predators if left to its own devices. Number 2. Shark Attacks Surfer. Having reached the finals of the J-Bay Open Surf Contest on July 2015, Australian surfer Mick Fanning found himself at the height of his abilities. A great white shark made an unwelcome appearance around 4 minutes into the final, turning this surf competition into a survival story. Fanning's spine tingled as he felt something entangled with his board. The ocean's apex predator's unmistakable dorsal fin broke the water's surface, bringing every surfer's greatest fear to life. In an act of pure courage and innate self-preservation, he struck out, striking a blow directly on the shark's back in the hopes of scaring it away. The shark's razor-sharp teeth somehow gripped onto his board rather than his skin. Despite the brief respite, Fanning stayed attentive, bracing himself for the feared second hit that so often accompanies such confrontations. Julian Wilson, another competitor, demonstrated tremendous bravery by swimming toward both Fanning and the lurking shark, hoping to divert its attention and defend his companion. Fanning was dragged from the water, his body unharmed but his nerves obviously frayed. His escape was nothing short of miraculous, winning the hearts of millions across the world as one of the most incredible near calls ever seen on tape. Recognizing the significance of his situation, Fanning openly acknowledged being deeply affected. Nonetheless, his unbreakable spirit shined through, and he bravely returned to the ocean just 1 week later. Number 1. Shark Jumps on Board. A giant mako shark stunned a party of New Zealand fishermen when it leaped out of the water and landed abruptly on their fishing vessel in a magnificent and completely unbelievable encounter. This astonishing occurrence, which was recorded on camera, has now gone global, becoming a viral phenomenon. Captain Ryan Churches of Churches Charters New Zealand set out on a fishing trip with 5 excited clients, throwing their lines off the coast of Whitianga. What happened next can only be characterized as chaos and disbelief. As the fishing trip got underway, Captain Churches gave his passengers some sound advice. If it jumps in the boat, get out of the way. They had no idea that this seemingly prudent advice would turn out to be the key to their survival. A shortfin mako, known as the world's fastest shark, capable of reaching speeds of up to 46 miles per hour, went for the bait with incredible intensity. In a split second, the massive shark burst from the waves, twisting midair before crashing violently onto the deck, its powerful tail thrashing wildly. The crew scrambled to the far end of the boat, shouting in disbelief as the predator's sleek body slammed against the railings, leaving deep scratches on the fiberglass. The tension was thick, one wrong move, and the razor-sharp teeth of the mako could have caused serious harm. This predatory action actually launched the huge fish into the spotlight as it soared into the air with unrivaled dexterity. The fishermen looked in astonishment and terror as the mako shark careened through the skies, their hearts definitely beating in their chests. Captain Churches, on the other hand, had instilled a preparedness to act, not just words of warning. Following his advice, the clients quickly sought refuge and protection, bracing themselves for the unexpected. We hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.